Hey amazing people, welcome back to my channel once again. Sorry it took me so long for me to post the sewing tutorial of this dress. So I have been really busy lately. I have some very urgent work I've been doing that I was not able to even make any tutorial or able to post the sewing tutorial of this dress. I'm really sorry guys for keeping you guys so long to this moment. So today I will be showing you how the I will be showing you how I cut and sew the dress. Okay, so if you haven't got your pattern ready, please go and get your pattern ready. I will leave the link on the description box so you can go and get your pattern ready. Then you come back here for the sewing tutorial. So this is my fabric that I use on this tutorial. So this is cashmere fabric. Okay, this is men fabric. So I have it available. I said, okay, let me just use it since there's no any other material. And then I have a 3.5 yard. Okay, you can do more than three. It depends on your body size. Okay, like I always say that I'm on a small size, so 3.5 years was able to reach me for this tutorial. If you're on a bigger side, I recommend you to use 4 yard to 5 yard. So also these are my pattern that is ready. Like I say, if you haven't got your pattern ready, click on the link on the description box, go and get your pattern ready, and then you come back here for the sewing tutorial. Okay, so I will start now by cutting out my pieces, but this part here, particular pattern here, I call it yoke. Okay, it has to cut on fold. Okay, don't forget to place it on fold when you're going to cut it. Okay, and also don't forget to add your 0.5-inch joining allowance all round. Okay, look at where I'm cutting so that you will know exactly where you should add your joining allowance. So please don't forget, so you will not go and stitch on your actual fabric. It's very necessary you must add your stitching allowance. Okay, so I'm going to use, after cutting, I'm going to place it on another fabric so I can get my lining. Okay, so here I have fabric being fold on times 4 so that I can get the lining and the main piece. So I figure out that it's going to look better if I have use the same material as my lining. And also I'm going to add my 0.5-inch allowance all round so that I can join it back to my fabric or to my other pieces. Okay, so whatever thing I'm doing here, I'm going to repeat the same thing on all my pieces. The same thing to the back and same thing to all the front pieces. Okay, so now that I'm done cut it like this, like I said, the same thing is going to be repeat on other pieces. So this is my pieces already now to start joining together. So this is my back pattern, this is my front pattern. The yellow one is the back pattern, the front pattern, sorry. The white one is the back pattern. Okay, and here is my front yoke. So I cut it in the times 2 so that I can have my lining and my main piece. So this is my front piece. I'm going to start with my front piece. So I'm going to separate the lining and the main piece so that I can start working. Okay, so for each fabric, each pieces has four pieces, so the front and the lining. Okay, so now I'm going to start by arranging it. Now let me show you how you need to arrange it. So please, I have to let you know this. When you're done cutting, make sure you label it so that you not be confused the way I was here, because at a point I got confused. Which one is the center front and which one is the side? I was so confused that I don't even know, but until I figure it out. So please label it so you will not be as confused as I am here. So I finally got through. So this is it. Okay, so this is the the center front, the one I'm holding. This is the center front, and the two center fronts are close to each other, the side and the last, that is the side pattern. Okay, so this is how it's looking like now, and then I'm going to complete the other side. So this is how it's going to look like. So you need to arrange it like this so that you can be able to couple it proper. So this is my yoke, and this is how it's going to look. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by picking at the two fronts. Okay, the center front. So I'm going to start by pinning it. So I will pin all of it. So I'm going to allow you to see how I pin it, okay, and how I picked each step. Okay, so another tip again I want you to pay attention is that when you have a design from the lower part of your blouse, and then the upper part is like off the shoulder or bustier. So you're advised to start all your joining from the lower part. As you can see, even from my pinning, I start from the lower part, okay? Don't start from the upper part to the lower part. So whatever excess that remain, it should remain on the upper part, not the lower part, okay? So I'm going to pin all this like this so that I can do the same thing to my main piece. So whatever thing I did to my lining is the same thing I'm going to do to my main piece. Okay, so this is my main fabric. Okay, I'm also ironing interfacing on it. Like I said earlier, that I will be ironing interfacing on my main piece. So this is it. And another reason why you need to iron interfacing on, if you look at this dress very well, the half bodies look more structured. Okay, at first I thought I would use the interfacing on it to make him look more harder, but I later realized that even with the interfacing, you need to still add your bonings. Okay, so I have done iron interfacing on my pieces, and also as you can see, I label it so that I will not get confused again. So the front is 2-2, pattern 2-2, 3, and then 4. Because if you check on the fabric when I did, I also label it before we start cut on the fabric. So this is how it is. I'm also gonna head to pin my main piece. Okay, I just did the same thing like I did to my lining. So the next, now we are going to head to the sewing machine to join me. Before we do that, this is my back pattern. Okay, I have gone ahead to pin one side. So the second side, this is what I did rather. So I pin also. Okay, I pin it just the way you see me doing, and yeah. So I have done pin all the pieces together. So the next, now we're going to head to the sewing machine to start joining it with 0.5-inch allowance. Okay, so this is my back pattern. The back pattern has, the back pieces actually have two pieces because of the zip. Okay, so I'm going to start by joining the back, and like I said, that when you're going to join it, start your joining from the lower part, not the upper part. Okay, so the upper part, whatever excess that remain, you can easily trim that off since there is a design from the lower part. Okay, so start your joining from the lower part just the way you see me doing. Okay, you're going to begin from the lower part. So I'm going to start by joining it with a 0.5-inch joining allowance that I added while I was cutting on the fabric. Okay, so guys, I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much for watching. If you're watching to this very moment, I want to say a very big thank you for watching. And if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please kindly do so and help me share this video as well. Okay, so all my pieces have been joined together, and I've also gone ahead to give it a really good press. Up to this very moment, I still find it difficult to understand this pattern, but yeah, nevertheless, I finally got it. So these are my lining. Okay, this is the front lining and the back lining. So this is my main fabric. So from the interfacing, you can tell that this is the main lining. So this is what differentiates both the lining and the main pieces. Okay, so this is the next step that we're going to do. I have gone ahead to pin my main piece. I join my yoke to my main piece. Okay, not that I really join, I just pin it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the process how I go about this particular one. Okay, so I'm going to be using my lining. So this is how it's going to look like. If you pin it down properly, you should be able to have your front piece looking like this. So this is my lining. Okay, so I'm going to get my yoke. So this is my yoke, my lining yoke rather. So this is how it's going to be. So I'm going to place it like this. Okay, just find any part right side facing the right side, because at this point I am using the part that has the crease line. Okay, so this crease line here, it helped me indicate that this is the wrong side. Okay, so I'm going to use the crease line also as a guideline. So this is how it is. Okay, so when you're going to stitch it, you're going to stitch from this end. Okay, so this is how it's looking like from the outside. If you pin it proper, you should have something like this. And when you're going to join it, make sure you follow that same process that you pin, so that you can have a very clean finishing. Okay, so make sure you pin it proper so that you will not end up having some gather from the under part. Okay, so this was a little bit tricky. So yes, but if you pay close attention, you should be able to understand what exactly I did here. Okay, so the same process I did from the one side of my cup, it is the same thing I'm also going to do from this side as well. So after pinning this, I'm going to repeat the same process on my main piece, so which is here. So this is my main piece also pin. Then we are going to head to the sewing machine to join it with 0.5 inch allowance. So now let's get into it. So you see this center point here where my joining is. From here, okay, that is where you're going to start your stitching. You're going to place it there to your machine, and then you're going to make sure you capture it properly. So you're going to be extremely careful. This part was one of the major challenge I have, but trust me, if you follow careful, see what I did here, you should be able to get your cup stitched proper without any challenge, okay? And if you stitch it proper, you will not end up having any loop to to your underbust, okay? So I'm going to repeat the same process on my lining too. You know, the lining has the yoke as well. So yeah, the same thing you did here, you're going to do it same thing to all the bodies. So now, as you can see, it's looking so nice and clean. It doesn't have any loop or any fold from the underneath. So the next, I'm going to join my back to my front piece, repeating the same thing to my lining as well. So the next I will do now is to head back to my ironing table. So I have my main piece here and my lining together. So the next thing I will do, I supposed to iron this part here, but I forgot. But nevertheless, we move on. So I will place my lining the right side facing my right side of my main piece, just the way you see me doing, okay? I will go back to my sewing machine, and then I will join it from this point here, round all the way to the other end, but I'm going to leave the lower part open. So I forgot to create strap. So this is the pieces I'm going to use to create a strap for my dress, okay? So the width of this pieces is 2 inches, and then the length of the strap is 54 inches, okay? So I'm going to cut it into two, but not now, until I fold it this way to create a bias. So I'm going to fold it like this, okay? And then I will go to my sewing machine, and then I'm going to stop stitch. Okay, I'm going to stop stitch it, okay? So I have done stop stitch my strap. So this is how it's looking like. So, and also I have gone ahead to divide it into two. I will place it on my yoke or the upper part of my shirt, or from the neckline rather. I'm going to place it to the neckline region. So before you place it, make sure you keep allowance of 0.5 inch by the side. In that way, you should be able to place your lining, and you should be able to stitch it without affecting the strap, okay? I hope you understand my explanation. Please, if you find anything difficult about this style, how to recreate it, leave your comment below. And if you feel like the video is too fast forwarding, there are options for you to play it back to a normal speed, okay? Click on the setting, and then you see a normal speed. Then from there, you reduce it to the normal speed that suits to your viewing, okay? So I'm going to pin all this round so that I can go to my sewing machine to join it. So I will be joining it with 0.5 inch allowance all the way around, and leave the lower part open. Another important thing that I forget to mention is that you need to create a boning channel, okay? As you can see, I created a boning channel from the front, okay? So yeah, you need to create a boning channel so that I can be able to fix in your boning. So this is the boning I'm going to use for my tutorial today. So it's a sewable type, okay? So there are two types of boning. There are sewable and then non-sewable. So you can go to the tailoring shop and tell them you need a sewable boning. So I don't really have much of boning, so I have to create a little bit, just some few space from the front, because I feel like the front is the most important. So again, I'm going to show you another trick on how you fix your boning, okay? So if you find it difficult how to cut it after you have fixed your boning in, so once you fix your boning in completely, make sure if it get close to the edge, then you're going to use your chalk, just the way you see me doing, okay? Mark the end of it, and then you're going to push it out about 0.5 inch allowance, so that you can create that space to join when you're going to join it to your whatever thing you're going to work on with this dress or with this blouse, then you can be able to join it successfully without being hot in your machine. Okay, so the same process, I will repeat the same process for all the part where I'm going to face my bonnet. Okay, so after done fitting it in, I'm going to get my chalk and mark it again, and then I'll push it out a bit by 0.5 inch allowance. Okay, just make sure you push it out by 0.5 inch allowance, and then you cut it. So once you've done cut, you push it back to the position where it's supposed to be. All right. So the next step now is to close it so that I can go and join the side back. I'm going to be joining it. The lower part is going to remain open because you need to join it back to the skirt. So I have gone ahead to join it, and this is how it's looking like. So be careful of this part, okay? This was a very difficult for me, yeah, but I was glad I came through. And this is the inside. This is how it's looking like, so nice and clean. So the next step now is to take the round circumference of this lower part, okay? So whatever thing that gives me, I'm going to multiply it by 3, okay? The highest you multiply it, the fuller your gather skirt is going to be. So at this point, I don't have enough fabric. Like I said, I make, what I use is 3.5 inches. Okay, so I got here 42 inches. So I'm going to multiply it by 3 inches. Okay, by 3. So the width I use here is 32 inches. So I will be using it for folding and also the joining it to my upper bodice, okay? So the width of your the lower part depend on how long you want your skirt to be, all right? So the my zip allowance from the back is 3 inches wide. So there's 1.5 inch on both sides. Then my button blanket, the allowance I'm going to use for my button blanket is going to be a total of 2 inches, which is going to be 4 inches allowance that I kept in total. So inside that 120 something inches, so my button allowance, my zip allowance is all inclusive, okay? So here I cut interfacing of 2 inches wide because the button I'm going to use is going to be wide, okay? So yes, I have to keep at least 2 inches wide for button blanket. So as you can see, I'm folding this part times 2. Okay, I'm going to fold this part times 2 so that I can create my button allowance or my button blanket. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the other edge of my skirt. Okay, so I will stop stitch it, and then that will be it for now. So I have done stop stitch my button part, the part where I create for the button, okay? So I gone ahead to stop stitch it, and also I made a loose stitch so that I can be able to gather my skirt or gather these pieces so that I can fit into my upper bodice. So from the zip, I mark 6 inches down. Okay, as you can see, I marked 6 inches down there. And then I made a temporary stitch from this 6 inches because I'm going to lose it anyways. Okay, and then I stitch it from that, where that 6 inches stop, I stop stitch it from there and take it all the way down because the back is closed. It's not open like the front, okay? So next I'm going to start making my gathers. So I'm going to first of all separate the threads so that I can begin to create my gathers. So you need to gather it to exact amount that you take from your upper bodice. So that is what you're going to do. You need to gather it, including your zip allowance, okay? But minus the blankets. You know, the measurement we took was initially it was 42 inches, so you're going to gather it to reach at least that 42 inches, okay? So I have done gather it, and also I stop stitch the front. I overlap the front because the front is open. So the part where the button is, okay, you have to overlap it. So at this point, you need to determine where your button is going to be, either the right side or the left side. So I have made my choice, and then I stop stitch the upper part here, okay. So from the back, I'm going to lose the back, the temporary stitch that I made from the back, from the zip allowance. So I need to lose it up so that I can be able to place my upper bodice there, because this part is going to be my starting point. So to do that, I need to lose this zipper allowance that I created temporarily, okay. So after done with this, now I'm going to trim off all this thread. So before you trim this thread, please be sure that it's not going to affect your gather stitch, okay. So the next thing now, I'm going to get my front piece, and yeah, I'm going to get my upper bodice. I need to find the right side of my upper bodice, which I already have some mark here to indicate that the wrong side and the right side, okay. Even though if you did not put the right side or indicate the wrong side, when you are going to find the part where the boning channel is, okay, that will show you where the right side is if you fall out to use the same fabric as your lining. So here I made a midpoint of my skirt so that I can place my upper body, the right side facing the right side to my skirt. Also the midpoint of your upper bodies is the center front where you cut and join them back, okay. So I'm going to pin all this round, then I will go back to my sewing machine and join it with 0.5-inch allowance. I have done pinning, so I will join it with 0.5-inch allowance. And yeah, I have done join it. Sorry, I didn't show you how I did it because it was a bit simple. It's not that difficult, okay. So this is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching to this very moment, I want to say a very big thank you for watching. I will see you on my next sewing tutorial.